Well guys, here's my brand new Victoria Free After Acts report that I spent like the last week plus doing this during my off-screen time when I was rendering the MTWS events that I finally finished. I thought I'd get this done before I get back to work on filming East Rutherford, as this was my first full game as Russia. I did a Russia game several months ago and was actually going very successful into the 1860s, but a game update broke the mods, and I couldn't play the game without the mods, and when the mods were finally updated, the save was broken, so had to cancel it, just like an Austria game I've done recently, a few months ago as well, which was very good as well. So anyways, this one was wild. And of course, I tried out the strategy I did recently with Portugal, where I went back to autonomous investments and all that, so keeping the balance and all that for construction. And so I just took over all of Central Asia and all that, because remember you have like your puppets, you have all the Central Asian states right there, and all the vassals right here too, and Finland. So I spent the first 20-30 years of the game just consolidating like the modern day border pretty much at the time. And yeah, after that I went kind of nuts. I took over cars from the the Ottomans, which was a really annoying fight too. The war went on several years because neither of us could do anything. And because I also took... No, the goal was I took cars, I wanted to liberate Iraq, and I wanted to take Cyprus. I took over like all of Anatolia and Iraq, so I had 2 of the 3 war goals done, but since I couldn't take over Cyprus because they kept stopping my naval invasion, we are stuck at 0 war progress, because you know this game requires you to take every one of your war goals. Even if you take over a few of them, if you don't take over 1, you can't finish the war, which is retarded. If you take over 2 of them, you should automatically be able to get tech like in Vicky 2. Absolutely stupid. I had to tag switch over to the Ottomans to force them to give up and all that, because it was so stupid. Like if you saw the occupation of them, you would realize, yeah, there's no way they would win that. They have to be forced to give up. So yeah. Force Iraq independence, took over cars and all that. I puppeted Afghanistan, I eventually conquered them. I went after Persia and took over several states that there's down here. I tried to take over stuff down here, but didn't quite work out. I managed to get Suez Canal away from Egypt. And then later on, I took over more territory from the Ottomans. And then I got really naughty and made them my puppet. And I forced them, not only did I force them to become a puppet, but I also made them release Bulgaria, Albania, and Bosnia. So yeah, that was really cool and all that. I vassalized and annexed Romania. And then later I just did it more recently with Serbia. And then the big one. Oh boy, the big one I did. I actually puppeted China, or the Heavenly Kingdom, because the Taiping Rebellion happened. And Tibet as well. And I did Mongolia later on too. I could have done Japan, but I wanted to focus more on China instead. So yeah, I actually puppeted China. And I actually had the option to annex them. Yes, outright annex China just like that as Russia. But it was going to take too long in the game. I decided not to bother it. And of course, I went over the infamy limit so much. And I had to deal with Super Germany and all the other great powers attacking me. And because I focused on this game getting all the army tech pretty much. Oh, I did the wrong one. As the army tech, because I saw a YouTuber, I think it was the One Proud Bavarian, I think that was the name, did a game where they last year where they played Finland destroyed Russia, and they focused on all the army tech in that save, and I did. As you see, I got almost all the army tech. I remember, I think it was NCO train. When I researched that, it was going to take 13 years to get, but I said, screw it, I'm going for it anyway and try to spam as much research as possible, but it just took a long time still. So yeah, I was technologically advanced for pretty much the last like 50 years in the game, and I could never beat them still. I was always on the defensive and all that, and several wars where they actually were invading me like all the way up to here, but I only won because they just gave up like that. I guess because they were taking a shit ton of more deaths than me. They were taking like 3 times the casualties I was. Like they were in the millions and all that. So I guess they just gave up on attrition. So I guess I got bailed out in that regard. Still very annoying too, because they couldn't invade them, and they largely couldn't invade me until several wars where they could, just with like that. I was taking like way too many casualties, despite the fact I was on defensive and had more tech and all that. So much for that strategy working out. But yeah, I still feel like if I played my original save as Russia, even though I did more on here, I think I would have had a higher score because the recent 1.5 update made getting high scores a lot harder, especially GDP and all that. It's really weird because my GDP is higher than my highest score game, Persia. I have more troops, more naval shit and all that, and yet I have a way lower score than my high score in Persia run right now. But in the end, finally got my first game as Russia done and all that. Feels good and all that. And hopefully to get back to more stuff very soon. And now to show the final results, which unfortunately is kind of messed up a bit since I had to tag switch over to the Ottomans. It only shows up to 1851 instead of 1836 when that war happened. Yeah, that's very annoying. I think maybe in the future I'll just play in debug mode, see if that won't cause it if I need to tag switch over or force them to surrender. But anyways guys, here is most of the stats.